you're an entrepreneur. How do you see funding entrepreneurs, specifically keeping the black dollar in the black community? Let me explain. If I want to eat, I have to give my money to the Albanians at Coney Island. If you want to get gas, you need to go to the Chaldeans. If you want to have your hair look like mine, you got to go to Asians. And I thank God for Asians. My wife is right there. She's Asian. Our children are Blasian. So I give it up to my Asian brothers and sisters. But we don't keep the black dollar in the black community. You're an entrepreneur. What does it look like for black entrepreneurs to be able to get the resources they need so we don't look for a handout, but a hand up?
I gotta say this. God, this thing is loud, man. You don't hear these type of conversations when Biden comes to black churches. Yeah, I've been hearing all this criticism for this. By the way, I haven't seen this clip yet, this whole clip. I haven't seen this. It was so hard to find this particular clip. All the clips I found were Democrats talking about how few black people there were in this church. I could find very little about what was actually said at the church. But I'm just saying, back to the substance of the question. A black man is asking about black business. He's asking the president. When I saw Biden go to black churches, they weren't talking about black business. They weren't having an honest conversation about economics within the black community. Now, I don't know what Trump's going to say, but this is better than me hearing you do, hear Hillary Clinton, I am no ways tired, doing horrible imitations of black stories that she's heard, or reciting horrible, lyrics in her tone. This piercing, mind-numbingly piercing, headache-inducing shit. Or Biden barely awake, and when he's not, rambling in various directions that make no sense and have no pertinence to what we're discussing. This man is asking Trump about black business. And we got a lot of black people that talk a lot of smack about how horrible Trump is, and hey, we're going to see. But what I'm saying is, at least we're having the right conversations. And anybody who's saying, dismissive of that, man, you must not be hearing what Biden be talking about when he comes through the black church. It's never about anything substantive that's actually important to us. It's about the message of the Democratic Party, their talking points. So I'm going to let this go. I'm going to play it, but I just want you to know I am legitimately just glad the question is in the realm of what we give a damn about.
And we talk about this, you have a lot of dollars in the black community and they don't keep it. I think one of the biggest problems that I see is the crime. They have to stop the crime. If they stop the crime, you're going to see more and more stores sprout, and we're losing them in other.
Shit. Hey, man, I said all of that just for him to say the wrong thing. Yeah, all you black Trumpers, that's the wrong thing to say. One of the main reasons why we have black crime in the black community is because we don't have resources in the black community. Everybody knows that. Well, not everyone. A lot of the non-COONs know that. So for Trump to go right there, that means, I'm sorry, you Trump worshiping, you Trump butt kissers. This is not good. He's shifting a legitimate question. He could have went any direction, and he chose the conservative Republican talking points to turn it back on black people and say, hey, your problem is you're just all a bunch of criminals. Yeah, that's what the problem is. I know you cited all these businesses that other people's have, instead of talking about how to get you those businesses. Instead of what they did was they gave newcomers, the immigrants, they didn't want those immigrants to own businesses in the white neighborhoods. So they gave them loans to do them, and only if they did them in black neighborhoods. That's how this happened. This is a historical fact. Incontrovertible. That's what they call it. So that's what happened. That's legitimately what happened. That's why you do business with this group of people and that business with that group, and that's why. But see, the fact that I know that and Trump doesn't know that, and come on, he has to know that. If he doesn't know that, he need to fire everybody that works for him. But he's going to pretend like he doesn't know that, because the only way that you can answer tough questions about black people and not piss off racist white people is to make the problem black people. Yeah, I got to hit it myself. I put the cart before the horse. An old Trumpy Trump did an old Trumpy Trump. That's why you cannot get excited about Donald Trump. Let's keep going.
Communities too, where there's crime, you see empty stores, you see them all over. They see big stores they moved in 10 years ago, they spent millions of dollars to build it, and now they're leaving. And these are not necessarily black communities. In many cases, they're not at all. But where there's crime, there's empty stores, and you don't keep the money. So I think the biggest thing we can do is stop the crime. We're going to stop the crime. We have to let people feel free and be able to walk outside and not even think about being mugged or...
Look at Byron Donalds. Look at Byron Donalds. Look at him. Look at the man without a soul. Look at him. You're looking at a man who's soulless right now. His soul has left his body. Oh, it's an embarrassing thing when you gotta shuffle one's feet. When you gotta tuck your tail. Show a black man like that gotta, pretend not to know what he knows. I mean, that is embarrassing, I mean, we all know Biden is a segregationist. We all know he eulogized former Klan members, who recruited other Klan members. Like, we know this thing about Biden. No, he's horrible. Crime bill locked up more black people than almost as many black people as slavery under Biden. So I know he is, but people have this tendency to think, oh, Biden's garbage, so Trump's got to be better. No, not really. This answer, horrible. Because what he suggested is, what we need to do is mass incarcerate black people who we already know they're under-resourced. He just said all these problems, and now the people that operate outside of the system, who do crime, who operate because they need resources outside of the system, he said the best way to fix the problem that they have no resources and resorting to crime, and people that do crime, is to put them more in jail. So let's mass incarcerate ourselves to a better situation. As a business owner, the main reason why businesses shut down of any kind is lack of resources. Lack of funding, particularly black businesses, because we start off so underfunded compared to all other businesses by any other group. That's the real reason. As a business owner, as a person who does my research as well, I can tell you that. You don't think Trump knows that? But Trump's playing by the same old book. Black bad. Because the only way that you can say anything or offer suggestions to black people, knowing that white people that don't know that they're racist, and Latinos that don't, who are, these are the ones, how can I say this? There are people that are explicitly racist and implicitly racist. Explicitly racist people, there is nothing you can do with them. They know they are, and they claim they're glad to be. And they'll tell you, hey, I'm racist. Those are explicit. The implicit ones with the implicit bias, they don't even know that they are. So the people that have implicit bias, they just knee-jerkly just think, okay, black people bad. But they'll tell you they know some good black people. So Trump doesn't want to lose either group. Close election coming up. So the only way that you can do that, folks, is you have to throw black people under the bus, under the guise of helping them.
Or hit or shot or anything. And, one of the examples, I see the love in this church. It's incredible what you've done. You've done an incredible job. I would like to ask if you could final out with a prayer. Is that okay? I don't want to get you by surprise here, because this was not but I've heard so much about you and so many great things, and it's such an honor to be here. It's such an incredible honor, and with so many of my friends that are political leaders that are really going places, and he is on the list, by the way, and I don't know if he's going to make it, but he's on a list of a few people, right? Not too many people. Would you like to be VP? Huh? I think he would. Tell you one thing, he'd be a good one too. But I'd love to ask you to finish off with a prayer. Does that make sense?
I would love to pray.
Thank you very much.
Let us bow our heads. Heavenly Father, with
I think that's enough. Oh, Trumpy Trump. So anyway, the Democrats are pissed off because how dare Trump do what we do? Yeah, Democrats are like, how dare Trump go do what we did? He knows that's our game plan. We show up every election at the black church, pretending like we give a damn. And here this guy goes, showing up at the black church, pretending like he gives a damn. They are ticked off, man. They're ticked off. Okay, so part of the reason why the Democrats are jumping out the gym is because of this.
Voters compare where we were at this point in 2020, compare where we are now. You know, at this point, look at this. In 2020, Joe Biden was getting 86% of the African-American vote. Look at where it is now. It's 70%. That's a 16-point drop, John. And more than that, it's not just that Joe Biden is losing ground. It's that Donald Trump is gaining ground. You go from 7%, single digits at this point in 2020, to now 21%. And again, John, I keep looking for signs that this is going to go back to normal, and I don't see it yet in the polling. If anything, right now, we're careening towards a historic performance for a Republican presidential candidate, the likes of which we have not seen in 6 decades.
So that's causing these guys to lose their minds, because this is not according to the script that the Democrats are used to operating under. So to that point, guys, here goes your friend Bakari Sellers on CNN trying to do damage control.
Harry Enton with shock and surprise on his face as he was looking at the numbers. And I want to go to you first, Bakari. What explains this? Biden, 70%, Trump in 2024, 21% of voters, a very high number. And then when you look at 50 and under, the numbers are dramatically different for any Democratic president that we have ever seen. These numbers very high for a Republican candidate. What explains that, you think?
Poor polling. I mean, if you want to be honest about it, if Donald Trump gets those numbers, then I truly believe that I can sell Harry this bridge in Brooklyn. I mean, that's just not happening. I think that people have to just level set a little bit, relax a little bit, stop hyperventilating. Donald Trump is not going to get 20% of the black vote. He's simply not. Black voters traditionally, as we go throughout this process, as you get to Labor Day, et cetera, a lot of black voters do come home to the Democratic Party. There are warning lights. I've said it from the past 3 or 4 months about turnout. But I think that Harry and everyone else who are looking at these polls analyze this race incorrectly all the time. And the reason they analyze this race incorrectly is because Donald Trump isn't the biggest threat to Joe Biden. The biggest threat to Joe Biden is black voters staying at home. Black voters aren't going to all of a sudden under the age of 50 or however old they are, because he gets, 4 or 5 unnamed rappers from Detroit or 4 or 5 unnamed rappers from the Bronx to support him. They're not going to all of a sudden, flock to Donald Trump. There is a threat, however, that black voters simply will stay at home because they feel sometimes like those policies passed in Washington, D.C. haven't necessarily touched their pockets. So I don't have the same shock and awe. I just think here we are in the middle of summer and things will stabilize and get back to norms as they always do.
But the numbers are the numbers, Bakari. I mean, are you saying just don't believe the polls, or are you saying you don't think these polls will be representative of the population once voting begins in November?
Oh, both. I think that traditionally, what we've seen over the past 8 years is pretty bad polling. And then I think what you've seen consistently since that time is individuals have a very difficult time acknowledging that we've had bad polling, and then the polling continuously gets worse. And so I think that's one of the issues that we have. But I mean, the Biden campaign they do have issues with African-American voters in terms of getting them to turn out to vote. That is a fact. That I was with Kamala Harris last week in Charlotte, North Carolina, and one of the things she was trying to do was ensure that she got black voters to the polls, particularly younger black voters. So they are working towards that. But I Donald Trump's not getting 20% of the black vote. That I can sit here and say that as a fact today.
Oh,
Just heard Harry.
well, hell, man, if you can sit here and say it as a fact, it's got to be true. I mean, how could you be wrong, Bakari? It's impossible for you to make mistakes, not know what the hell you're talking about. But I agree with you. I don't think he's going to get 20. I think he's going to get closer to 30. So there that goes. Yeah. And Bakari's not alone in this damage control that the Democrats are undergoing right now, which is why they're pissed off that Trump had the audacity to go to a black church, something you don't see Republicans doing. Maybe I think Bush went after he got out the White House. They were trying to rehab his image after he took us to those illegal wars for oil money, killed 1 million Iraqis for no damn reason. Yeah, after Obama and everybody circled the wagons to kind of make him clean him up, make him presentable. I think he went to a black church like one time or something when he wasn't trading gum with Michelle Obama. But yeah, not to be undone with the kissing ass of saying that, hey, don't worry about polls. Here goes the ladies at the View. Same thing. More the same.
That we see politicians go to black churches about
Right.
5 to 6 months before an election,
Right.
because they try to earn our vote. I think they need to continuously go to black churches year after year after year, because black churches have been sort of the bastion of the civil rights movement, and it's a political thing for us. I go to St. Charles Borromeo. It's a black church. It's not unusual for the homily to discuss politics, and we have meetings after the church. I will say this church is controversial. It's called the 180 Church in Detroit. It was preceded by another church months
Listen
before
to
an
her
election,
Right.
because they tried to.
Listen to her mock the church because it's not her church. What an elitist witch. That's some elitist witchcraft right there. Now she gonna mock the church just because, it had the audacity to let Trump come in. That's horrible, man.
This church is controversial. It's called the 180 Church in Detroit. It was preceded by another church. They don't want this pastor in this church. They're trying to kick him out. But the most iconic church in this area was founded in 1920. It's the Triumph Church. There are 2,000 new members a year and 14,000 average in attendance on a Sunday. He had about 300, but I didn't see a lot of black people there. And so I will say this.
Not black like you, right, Sonny?
Think that I don't know how much
Black like Kamala?
longer we have to say this isn't about black voters choosing between Biden and Trump. This is about black voters choosing between Biden and the couch, okay? It's not about Trump. Trump has no chance at getting a majority of black voters. 81% of black men are Democrats. 97% of black women are registered Democrats. So this is what the scenario looks like.
Well,
and it's
in
just a fallacy.
This springs from a place that there is some evidence that shows there's been a shift. It's fairly.
Okay, then. There we go. And I think it's time for us to go to the truth camp. Wow, man. Hard times for the Democrats. While I was listening to Bakari Sellers shovel nonsense, it dawned on me. Bakari's just trying to keep a job. Hey, he's trying to keep a job. I mean, I know he's probably made lots of more money than he's entitled to make, being a talking head for the Democratic Party, going on all these programs. But here's the thing. You kind of not, why would anybody want to employ you or give you money to speak if you can't help Biden win? I mean, come on, how effective have these black talking heads actually been? Not very effective at all, man. Nah, so what they have to do is they have to come out, they have to pretend that they mean well. And that none of this, all this talk about Trump doing well and cutting into the black vote is all nonsense, because these elite Democrats, they may lift up, they may platform, they may put money into your pockets, these black spokesmodels for the DNC, but they do want a return on their investments. And if you're a black talking head, your only purpose is to get other black people to listen to you. And if you're ineffective, which Bakari is, very ineffective, not effective, ineffective. The only people that listen to Bakari's sellers and are influenced by him are people that are basically charmed by the DNC. And those people don't need convincing. Yeah, Bakari isn't going out and convincing anybody that doesn't already agree with him. Broader point, it's really not about him. It's about all these talking heads, all the black ones, all the ones that look black or half black or semi-black or whatever, can throw up any type of black, like claim blackness in any way. Their whole purpose right now is to circle the wagons and try to save Biden. Save Biden from self-destruction. See, they have in Trump someone with the unmitigated goal to actually go in and try to get black votes. I mean, actually go after them. And I'm not saying he's very effective. I'm not saying that. I didn't like Trump's responses in the church. But you know what? He was there to give those shitty responses. He was there. He showed up there, right? I can't say that's any worse than what Biden does. Hey, it's just about the same, right? But see, Democrats are not used to the same. They're used to Republicans going, let's go get all these whites. So this is a threat to the status quo. That's what it is. They're not used to the Republicans playing the same game they're playing, which is definitely going to alter this race. Will it alter the, politics in America? I always thought it could. It was possible. It's possible that there could be somewhat of realignment of the electorate, meaning black people may finally stop automatically giving their votes to the Democratic Party. All it takes is one election for people to put this pinky toe into the water and say, Jaws didn't bite it off. Jaws did not bite it off. And then what's going to happen next time? Next time, someone's going to go a little bit harder. They're going to actually not make the same comments that racist conservatives have made over the years about all your problems are your own problem. Maybe at some point, somebody will take us seriously enough to have actual policy prescriptions. I mean, hey, Trump did have the platinum plan last time out. That's how the arrogance of the Democratic Party is so arrogant, they don't even think they need to try to pretend like they're going to form a plan for Black America. So, yeah, this is it's really sad what's happening right now. If you are a Biden friend, if you're a supporter, if you are, and I know it's not a lot of those people, somebody needs to talk to you guys. Talk to the DNC, man. There's a lot of lazy Democratic operatives out there not doing a damn thing. And they've been getting paid to do nothing but to pretend to be influential. So I want to see what's going to happen. We're going to have all the Lisa Rays and Tiffany Crosses and car sellers types. All these people have made a living, guys, a sustained living, being pseudo like stars, delivering nothing to Black people except optics. Optics. Old, dry, dehydrated speeches, petrified speeches, warmed over. Nah, man. They should have to work for them. They should have to dance. Those sellouts should at least have to dance for their meals. You have to do something more than what you've been doing. So yeah, these people are trying to do this is self-preservation for these scumbags. The only saving grace for them at all, why it's even, is that Trump can't get out of his own way. He can't get out of his own way. And he hasn't fully brought into what he needs to do. But if he just lied a little bit more, yeah, if he would have lied in that church like Biden lies, oh, we gotta listen to black people. Oh, we gotta respect black people. You know, all that bullshit Biden says and then turns around and does it. Gets on a live stream, a Zoom call that's recorded and tells black people, you need to be quiet. Fall in line and get with the Latinos. You know, they're going to be a bigger minority than you soon. It just, like, it's not even recorded shit. I mean, real talk, man. This thing's coming to a head. And you know what? I'm happy to see it happen. I'm happy to see this happen. You know why? Because I believe the only way we're going to get anything out of this politics thing in America is if these parties don't get to just take black votes for granted. I think it upsets everything in this system. The fact that the Democratic Party does not have to bend over backwards. That they can just, and black people just run. That's got to change, Johnson. Stop being afraid. Stop being afraid of what can happen. We've been through so much in this country. And believe me, guys, hey, I'm not a supporter of either one of these parties, but I'm just saying it's very obvious to me that Biden's missing a step and Trump's not going far enough. We'll see what's going to happen. But I do believe Trump's already set records with how many black people are paying attention to his campaign. Will they ultimately vote for him? I believe they will. And this whole couch thing, the couch, even when you subtract the people that are going to hit the couch, we're still in the 20s as far as black people voting for Trump. And remember, not everybody votes. Remember, less than half of America votes. Please remember that. Okay, let's go on. Check this out, guys. If you're new to the show, hit the like button. Even if you're not new, hit the like button. Share this out with people. We need to keep it 100. People need to know what's happening. All this lying and conniving and Democrats acting like somebody stole their bike. No one stole your bike. And black people are not your bike. Well, that's your property. Who's stealing our votes? It's crazy. A vote is freely given. You don't own it. Dumb. All right. Speaking of dumb.